Yo, 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 welcome back to Neighborhood Politics. I'm Mrs. Neighborhood Politics.
And I'm Mr. Neighborhood Politics.
And you know you back for another episode. This is a new season for us. So, yeah, the beginning of a new season.
The beginning of a new season, for sure.
I definitely want to stop what we're doing right now and just take a look at Q. I wish we could just zoom in on him. Let's look at him. Look at his outfit. Yeah. Okay.
I did that, man. Shout out to my students. They got me together.
Okay. Got you together. What we got going on here? I just want to know what's going on right here.
I hit him with some stack jeans today.
Okay.
I seen one of my players wearing some stack jeans, and I liked them. So, I'm like some stack jeans with some Timbos on, navy blue Timbs, and the nice fatigue hoodie to go on top of, nothing special.
So
something light.
Would you say someone styled you, or would you just say it's a look that you was going for? And I'm only asking this for a reason because I want to know if somebody styled you.
I got assisted. I got assisted. I would say, shout out to my assistant coach, Reve.
Okay, that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, okay, yeah, shout out to Reve, assistant coach, man. I hope you see this, Reve. You did your thing, man. You got me together, assistant coach Reve from Cincinnati, my boy. And then, of course, my wife, she helped pick out the colors. So, I'm here I am now.
And real quick, so people can know, Reve is in what grade?
Wow.
And I gotta say this.
Reve's in 7th grade, but he's swaggy.
No, but listen, that's not the point. The point is that we gotta give him credit where credit is due. He is 7th grader that know how to dress.
Yeah, he do his thing. Working with the kids, amongst coaching and teaching and all that, it keeps us youthful. It keeps us hip to how we supposed to be walking around looking. So I like it.
And then one little thing that I want to point out that I just gotta say, I like your glasses.
Appreciate it. It's the city championship game today. Shout out to Northland. We pulled it off, but I had to, I put it on. Put it on today.
Y'all, Q dressed me today. So
I did. And I did my thing with that too.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay,
that's as I always do.
What you mean?
As I always do my thing when I pick out your clothes.
What
when we go shopping or whatnot, whenever I come home with something for y'all, I tend to do a good thing.
Whatever.
Not to go back, fly boy.
What is going on now? See, this is getting a little crazy up in here. But so we back for another episode. And last time we came, we were talking to y'all about just like our just being welcome to parenthood. What it's like to be a mother and what it's like to be a new father. And I think we definitely had some good conversation and good content when it came to that. But first off, I definitely want to talk about the situation or bring awareness to the situation because this is what neighborhood politics is all about. It's about community. It's about what's going on in our world. When I say our world, I'm talking about the world where it's just not acknowledged like that. So the neighborhood. Maybe just this Thursday. Well, Wednesday it must have happened, but Thursday is when the police was talking about it, on the news and everything like that. It was a 5-year-old boy named Darnell Taylor who was found in the sewer. And they believe that his foster mother is the one who murdered him. We not sure how it happened, what happened, but from the news report, it was told that she's in Cleveland getting help at a hospital, and then she'll be coming back down to Columbus to face some charges.
Face the charges for it.
Yeah, and it just hits different because even like we were on our way down here from on our way to to record our episode, and just like reading up on it, hearing the news report and literally just like just finding out the facts from what just happened on there. It hits different. Like it really rubbed me the wrong way. Like when you even told me about the situation, because I had an Amber Alert when I woke up that morning. I had an Amber Alert. Of course those are never good because what an Amber Alert means. That there's a missing child or something like that going on. That's real, but to know that it was a 5-year-old boy who got kidnapped by his foster parent, or not even kidnapped, but by his foster parent.
I believe it was kidnapped is what they said. Yeah, it like you said, it hit different, because I seen the Amber Alert, woke up and really didn't think nothing of it. And then come to find out, like you said, less than 48 hours once you start getting really the details, and then you hear that he was found, and then you hear about the the specifics of how he was found and the details a little bit. It definitely is like You know, it's a jaw dropping. You know, it hurts the heart. You know, and you know, it took me back to, I feel like the last time I got an Amber Alert was when the last situation happened actually here in Columbus, and the lady took up the twins to Indianapolis, and then they was also, you know, so you know, it's again, like, to go back off of the last episode, you know, neighborhood politics, that's what, you know, I'm sure a lot of people know about it, but just the community awareness. So, you know, if it's anything that we could do, you know, that's what we would want to say to the family. If it's anything that we can do, whatever, you know, we willing to help however we can, you know, because that's what we want to help. Once, like we said, bring that awareness and just give our love and our support.
I think one of the things that we can do, just in general, even right now, is just send prayers up for Darnell Taylor's family, anybody that was, you know, just in close communion with him, and just over the lady's spirit, because obviously, to me, she was possessed. You know, I feel like I'm not going to say, you know, like, I mean, that's the only thing that could happen. That's evil. You know what I'm saying? To do that to an innocent child.
Yeah.
So, you know, we just like to pray for Darnell, anybody that was in close proximity with him who, you know, because we don't know about his actual parents. We haven't heard anything about, you know, his biological parents. And, you know, he's a 5-year-old boy, you know, I'm pretty sure it was teachers that knew him, you know, or daycare. Like, there's a lot of people who could definitely be in close proximity.
That's just affected by the situation.
It's affected by the situation. So, dear Heavenly Father, we just want to say thank you for everything that you have done, Lord. We pray that you just bless and protect Darnell Taylor's family, Lord. Anybody that was in close proximity to him, anyone that is hurting from this situation, that even if they're not family, Lord, just anybody that is hurting by the situation in general, we pray that you just be with them, send them comfort, Lord, give them peace, Lord. We don't understand why people do evil, but we understand that this is the world that happens on, that happens in, Lord. This is an evil world. So, Lord, we pray that your will be done in this earth and on this earth, Lord. And we pray for Darnell Taylor's spirit and his soul, Lord. We pray for his family, Lord. And we just pray for anybody that is connected to him, Lord, that you give them peace, that you give them comfort, Lord, that you give them wisdom, that you give them understanding, Lord, that you give them guidance, Lord. And we want to pray for the foster mother, Lord, whatever spirit that was able to just jump on her and take full-blown control, Lord. We just even rebuke that spirit right now in the name of Jesus, Lord. We pray that there's not another situation like this no time soon and nowhere near. We understand that this is the world. We understand that certain things happen on here, but Lord, we know that prayer is powerful, Lord. So we just pray for Darnell family, and we just pray for everybody connected to Darnell, Lord, and we just ask that your will be done on this earth. In Jesus' name we pray, amen.
Amen.
I feel like you know, even just then, I'm gonna definitely continuously pray on that, because, you know, I just know that prayer works. And I understand that we're not gonna be able to stop things from happening, because this is just the world that we live in. It's unfortunate, you know, evil happens here, but you know, God, that was never God's plan. Is not the intent, you know, for it to be that way.
For sure.
And it just hurts me, because I have a 5-year-old nephew. I have a 2-year-old nephew. You know what I'm saying? We got, you know, God kids. We have a lot of kids around us. You know what I'm saying? So, and even now, after having a kid, thinking of something like that happening is just like, it's scary.
Yeah, for sure.
It's truly, truly, truly scary, you know. And you know, when it even comes to parenting, because I'm thinking, like, you know, there's a lot of kids out here getting raised by foster parents. You know what I'm saying? And you just wouldn't think something like that would happen to some, you know. Yeah. You just wouldn't think anything would happen like that, you know.
Yeah, for sure. And, you know, it just goes back to, you know, because, again, we both work with kids. So, you know, it really puts it into perspective, like, man, what do these kids go through when they going home, you know, because not all of them are going home to a household to where it's just like glitz and glamours, you know, food on the table every day, you know, warm covers, you know, fresh clothes when they back day in, day out, you know. So it's like, you know, it really puts your heart into a place to where it's like, wow, we really living in a world that is like, as you said in your prayer, like, we living in wicked times right now. We really living in wicked times. In a case like this, it really shows, because, you know, for the young boy to only be 5 years old, you know, that's going to be you know, it's going to affect people down the line even that don't even maybe know it right now. We never know if the young man has siblings, little cousins, whatever it may be. But just to say or just to know that, dang, that was my you never know how someone else is going to respond now off of that situation of knowing like, wow, my little brother, my little cousin, something like that happened to him. So, again, just prayers to the family because, man, I can't even imagine, like you said, if it was like one of our 5-year-old nephews or something, that case. Yeah. For sure.
That just makes me. But like you said something key. Like you said, we don't know. Because like this episode, I definitely wanted to speak on parenthood just in general. Like from the generational curses that's been passed down to just the different things that, one might face, growing up when it comes to parenting. Like, everybody don't have the best relationship with their parents, whether that be mother, whether that be father, and like we just said, like even kids that are in foster care, you know what I'm saying? But one of the main things that you just said is that we don't know what kids are going home to, whether they well fed, whether they, got a blanket, got a cover, different things of that nature. I'm a firm believer that just in general, like, with having kids, if you don't feel like you can raise a kid, you should give them away to someone who would, want to raise them. But then it's like unfortunate where you give your child away, or however the child, gets taken care of by the foster parent. The foster parent end up doing something crazy that.
It's unfortunate because kids are, they are, what would you say? They what's the word for it? They're I'm sorry.
Like what you trying to say?
They're innocent. I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. Kids are, they're innocent. So you bring them into a world to where, us as adults, we are supposed to be the responsible ones and help take care of them. But in most cases, not in most cases, I'm sorry, in some cases, that's not really the case. And you don't know what someone's state of mind is. You don't know where they are at mentally or physically or spiritually or emotionally. So it's like we put these kids into environments, we bring them into the world, and it's really no telling, like y'all say, because in the last episode, you birth a child, and they not doing no background check to see, okay, what's this kid going home to? They don't know what the environment is at the house. Once you give birth to that child at the hospital, you sit in there for them 2-3 days, however long they feel like you need to be in there, and then it's off. Come on, somebody else fill this room. I see you. Have a great rest of your life. So that's the scary thing, because it's happening every day. Kids are being born every day, but again, it's not no check and balances when you're pregnant to say, okay, are you really mentally stable to have this child? Are you really, or what are you taking this kid home to? Do you have, X amount of covers at the house? And I'm just gonna go to the bare minimums. Do you have, what do you have the things that may keep this environment safe for this child? And that's not really, of course we can't monitor that. That ain't nothing that no one can really monitor. But it's just scary to know, in some cases, that anybody can do that.
Can raise a child, and it won't even necessarily be the proper way to raise a child. And we don't know the proper way, but not a safe way, or just like you said, are you mentally stable? Are you emotionally stable? Because we know a lot of people who are verbally abusive to their kids, and we say verbally. I don't know people that's physically abusing their kids. I'm like verbally, they might be like, hey, you need to chill out, stop talking to him like that, or stop talking to her like that, things like that. But they don't even know, know what I'm saying? Because once again, when we said talking about the generational curses, things that were passed down from generation to generation to generation, from your parents from their parents to the parents before. Like, we were just out to eat, and we were just talking to a lady, and she was just saying how times are different from when she was a kid to when we were kids. And of course we know that, what I'm saying, but just the difference in time, you know what I'm saying? So like you said, you get sent home, if there's no type of checks and balances going on, trying to see what's going on. So like I would say this, with Yara, think about this, like from all that you have been brought up around and was taught as a parent, as a kid, what would be something that you would want to make sure that you teach Yara as a parent?
That I would like to teach Yara as a parent.
Yeah, like you have to think about your whole life and some of the things that you've learned and some of the things that you experienced and some of the things that you saw. Like, what would be something that you would want Yara to, like?
Well, first thing first is, just I would want her to see what it's like to grow up in a household of two married parents, you know, and I think that's first things first, because in our culture, in our society, a lot of times it's unfortunate that that's not really seen now. You know, you don't commonly see and you don't commonly see a child being brought up in a household with two married parents. So, you know, that's first, and that's laid out there on the table. That's what I would love for her to grow up in, so she can see, okay, this is how things are supposed to be, and it can work out that way, because growing up in our culture, like I said, it's not shunned upon, but it's like it's so non-existent nowadays, to where a lot of times you just think it's not even possible. And we come to a culture nowadays to where it's like we don't even have, like, you might talk to a friend. I'll speak for myself. I talk to one of my male friends, and they have no hope in the dating field, of thinking that they're going to get a girl and they're going to get married one day. So it's sad that we are at a time in the era to where the lack of hope of finding a right one or a companion is slim to none. You know, so then, okay, now we got children being brought up in a world to where they're being conceived, and now they're growing up in, you know, households to where the parents may have wanted it to work, but unfortunately it's not working, and now they split up, they weren't married, and it becomes a toxic environment. Or for them, they might see it as, okay, this is my norm. I was brought up in a household to where my mom and dad was never together. It's going to be okay for me to do the same thing. So I would love to pass that on to her, to where she sees, like, nah, when I grow older, I want to have a strong husband, someone who she can model after myself, and see the things that I do for herself and for you as a man in our household, and she can know, like, nah, I don't gotta settle. You know, I'm gonna push forward till I get me a good man, whenever far down the line that is. But you know, I hope she knows that it's gonna be possible
to do that. I definitely that was great, honestly. I mean, that was actually great, because like you said, we don't see that a lot. And then, not to try to downplay people, like, oh, you gotta be married, but like you said, just having two parents in the same household, you know, being raised, like you said, you don't see that. It's not happening often. It's something that people kind of be like, it is what it is. It's normalized. You know what I'm saying? When we think of, you know, God intents, and then even if we take out, you know, I don't like to take out God, but, you know, even if we take that out, it's just the intent, like you said, having two parents that you can get raised by, the two perspectives, and seeing something healthy. You know, I would say, for like me, like, I would want to teach our daughter, just like, I would want my daughter, it's more on the spiritual side, let me say that. I would want our daughter to not be in fear, because I know, for me, fear was passed down. Don't know why you scared. You're just scared. Scared of the plant. Just scared of everything that you see. And I just wouldn't want my daughter to live in fear. So I think, for me, because that's something that was passed down, you know, generationally, I would want to teach my daughter how to not even, you know, how to overcome fear, how to combat fear, how to, you know, fight against that, you know what I'm saying? Because fear can put you in a lot of different places, you know what I'm saying? And change a lot, you know, change your perspective, can put you into environments that you're not supposed to be in, you know.
Can keep you away from environments that you might supposed to be in.
You know, I think I would just want to really, you know, make sure that fear is not a thing for her. You know, like a big thing, like something that's ruling her life, you know, because we human, you're gonna have that, you're gonna fear something, you know, and you know, but just to be like to let that rule your life, that's something I wouldn't want y'all to have to experience, because, you know, like we talked about, generationally, if you see your mom in a state of frantic and always fearful, and you know what I'm saying, you know, then that can be passed down, you know what I'm saying? So, and it's like, that's not something I want my daughter even have to experience, you know? Like, yeah, you're going to be afraid of whatever you're going to be afraid of, but not to be actually in that state 24/7. So that's definitely something as a parent, something that I want to pass down, you know, because like we think about stuff like this. Y'all didn't ask to be here, just like we didn't ask to be here, just like other kids didn't ask to be here. But I feel like once you have a kid, it's your responsibility to make sure that you take care of that kid, you know, to the best of your ability.
Yeah, for sure.
But when I say that, though, think about that, to the best of your ability. So we got people out here who taking care of kids to the best of their ability. But think about it, it ain't really necessarily.
Right. what someone else may see as the best in their eyes. So, you know, I think, and that's important to say, because everybody's, again, back to the last episode, as far as in pregnancy, even though we're not talking about that, everybody's situation is different.
Yeah.
So again, that's where it goes to where it's like, who am I to judge someone else if they not raising their kid in it? But as long as they're doing it in to the best of their capabilities, then who are we to, you know, not to say we, you know, but who are we as a society to judge and say, okay, you not doing that the right way? You know, I mean, I do, honestly, you know, as a man, I do think it is standards, though, that should, you know, that if I was to see like, nah, that ain't right, that ain't, you know, that ain't, I don't feel like you should be doing that. I do think it is certain standards and guidelines to where it's like, should your kid be cussing at, you know, X amount, is that okay? Nah, you know, should you not be, should your kid be around adults because I wasn't allowed to be around, go to the kiddie table, you know what I'm saying? So that's stuff that I want to pass down the yard. Like, I don't, you know, it is certain standards that, as I do feel like, even as a culture, you know, I like this because I feel like you talking a lot more on the generational side of things, and I feel like I'm coming more from the cultural side of things, but I do feel like as a culture, we're getting down to a point to where now we're being more okay with our kids growing up faster than they really should be, in the sense of doing things that they aren't, that I know I wasn't allowed to do when I was 15, 16, you know?
I mean, you got a point. I think because times have changed, from just a simple thing, technology, social media, you know, we always bring that up because that is such a big part, like a big, huge chunk of the difference in between kids, even parents. We got younger parents. We got, you know, people who think, you know, going viral for having your kid cuss on TikTok. You know what I'm saying? And you know, like, oh, this is gonna go viral when it's like you teaching your kid the wrong thing. You know what I'm saying? But I think to go into, because I'm always about solutions, and so are you. Like, this ain't to bash parents, right? This is for us to get better. I think for us, and just in general, the new age parents, everybody that's becoming parents now, the only way to be better parents to our children is to get healing. You know what I'm saying? Because things that were passed down and things that we experience, we ain't have no control over that, but we do have control over what we do moving forward, right? So, you know, I know a lady who, her mom was like an alcoholic, and her mom had like 8 kids or something like that or whatever, and she was in foster care, but her dad wasn't in her life. She didn't have a grandpa. She didn't have, well, you know, we all got grandpas, but no active male figure in her life. She went on to have like 3 kids. None of their dads was in their lives. So do you see how, okay, her mom was an alcoholic, and then her mom had like 8 kids. None of their dads was really in their life. Some of them knew their dads, but none of their dads was in their life. Because she was an alcoholic, her kids got taken away. Her kids got taken away, and they were in foster care. Which this lady, when she, you know, she was in foster care, she, you know, when she eventually had her kids, she had 3 different she had 3 kids with 3 different baby dads, and none of their dads were in her life. She didn't been verbally abused, physically abused. She had a lot going on in her life, to where, you know, insecurity may have ran a lot deep, you know, from the, you know, from, you know, the talks of this lady, insecurities have ran deep, you know, just the feeling of feeling inadequate, you know, survival of the fittest, just like is her mindset. And it's just like all these different things that she went through and all the different, you know, challenges she faced, she ended up going on having her own 3 kids, and then they got born into the same type of environment and dynamics. You know, you see how that goes. The generational
curses, and what I'm gonna say is the cultural curses, because it's unfortunate that you see cases like that more than you don't in our culture, in our generation, as, you know, African Americans. You know, that's so common for, you know, again, like we say, kids be brought up in environments that their parents was brought up in, and it's just passed on and passed on and passed on. So then you have no breakage, you have nothing, no change there, because it's the norm of the environment that they was brought up in.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate. And I feel like you said, as a culture as a generation, that's something that we need to talk about and bring to the forefront. So hopefully we can get that healing like you was talking about, because if you aren't aware of, or if you don't know of your traumas that you've been through, how can you expect change, or how can you give change to the ones that you bringing up? You know, if you think that was just your norm and it was okay, and that's end all be all, then the ones that you gonna bring up underneath you is gonna be the same situation, which is unfortunate.
And especially if you like raising a kid and like you got that survival mode, you know, mentality. You raising your kid in the household of like, we surviving 24/7, so y'all might have to eat noodles only, you know. I probably only got $20, so we're gonna get us some bread, we're gonna get you know, like, this is the environments that people were raised in. Truth be told, environment that I know for sure I was, you know, raised in. But we got parents like that who really don't know no better, and just trying to do better, but also don't even know that, because they don't, one, they're not aware of their trauma, and then also two, once they become aware of their trauma, they're not trying to fix or get healing from it. So then they pass that down to their kids, and now their kids is dealing with their baggage on top of the baggage that they're about to have of their own,
that they've accumulated on their own self. You
get what I'm saying?
Yeah, for
so
sure.
It's like,
and then don't I'm sorry not to cut you off, but don't take in consideration it is a difference between the male gender, the gender of a male and a female too.
Let's talk about that.
Okay.
Let's talk about that. So it's a difference between males and females.
Right.
Growing up in the hood.
Right.
And under those circumstances.
Right.
What is a male's mindset growing up in the neighborhood, under survival instinct or survival mode?
You know what? I can't speak on it. I feel like I would be cheating somebody else with the opportunity if we had them along here, and we can do that here soon. You know, because I can't really speak on that, because that really wasn't my situation.
Right.
I did grow up in a household to where it was just my mom, because my mom and dad separated at a point in time, but
you was taken care of.
I was taken care of, you know, to the best of my mom's ability, and I wasn't necessarily raised in the streets. Now, was I exposed to it? Yeah, I was a young man, but I wasn't raised in it. But what I can say from what I do know, or what I've seen, or, you know, friends, or, you know, just being connected, just being connected to the neighborhood or the community, whatever you want to call it, for this sake. Males typically go into a state of, okay, I'm about to figure out how to make this happen. You know, after we it's not really much pity that we live in for too long of a time. You know, we understand what we living in. We understand the environment. We understand that, okay, mom ain't providing maybe as much. We understand that it ain't no warm water. How can I now make sure I be the one to provide? What can I do to make sure I eat, or make sure my siblings eat, or make sure my mom is taken care of? You know, because, you know, I had even fell into the society role plays of, shoot, let me go ahead and get me, because my mom worked 2 jobs, but I still felt the need to get money on my own too as well, and not outside of having a job at Kroger. So, you know,
but also too, I think we talked about this before. Males go into that state of mind to where they're like you said that, or they're just going like, don't worry about me. Right. So they're not necessarily trying to provide for the, you know, all their siblings and stuff. Some, you know, some that be the case, but some like, you know what, mom, don't even worry about me. You just take care.
You take care of you.
Yeah.
But in the same sense, once you become that person to where it's don't take care of me, that usually is the one that's, you know, where he's usually in the state now to where I'm going to make sure I'm good on my own, you know. So now I'm leaning towards the streets. Now I'm leaning towards finding ways to get my own money, because like I say, I sold me some little nickels and dimes, and I didn't even have to, but it was just the fact of being a young dude, you know, feeling like, okay, this is the norms of the society. So imagine if you really in that environment and you really ain't eating at all, you know, you become numb to, okay, the emotional state of things. How can I just survive? You know, and that's just natural instinct of human nature, self-preservation. How can I survive? So, as a young man growing up in that environment, don't let you have sisters. Now you are the protector. Now you are the man of the household, even though you might be only 12, 13, 14 years old, you know. And now we in a culture or in a society to where now I'm really picking up the strap, and I'm going out here hitting the streets full fledged. And now don't let you have a kid at 15, 16, because now we going into what you saying as far as the generational curses of now you 15, 16 having a child in an environment to where you're still developing your own self, and it's just a repetitive cycle.
I think for that's the male, you said male, that's what kind of the mindset that the males go into. And I feel like with a woman or young ladies is another mindset that you can go into, because I'm gonna tell you, for me, with me growing up in that type of environment, I was like, I gotta get it on my own too. Like, I gotta make sure I'm good. You know what I'm saying? But then I know other girls that was raised in that situation, and they go straight to, like, excuse my language, but hoeing, like, in the streets. You know what I'm saying? Like, they gonna trick. They gonna go get some money by dealing with some dudes, sure. Some, like stealing, all those different things. But then you got the ones like I say, like somebody like me, where I see my environment, I see what I was brought up around, I'm like, this is not it. I'm about to try to learn how to do some hair. I'm gonna and I gotta make sure I do my own hair. I'm going babysit. I'm about to find a job. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to get out of this situation. You know what I'm saying? So, like you said, that's the male role. The male thoughts on, like, okay, let me just go ahead and try to provide
self-preservation. Let me figure out how to make it happen.
And then, like I say, for the young ladies, it's literally like, let's make it happen, let's get it done. Or they go on the other route where they feel like they got to give themselves, to men or to the streets in order to feel love. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? In those type of environments, and it's super unfortunate, because it's like, we all just want to be loved. Like, kids right now, your kids, if you watching this, whomever, just want to be loved, want to feel appreciated, want to feel valued, want to feel important. You know what I'm saying? And unfortunately, when you grow up in these certain type of circumstances, it can strip you away from those type of things. Whether if your dad is not in your life, now you feel like, I don't know what it's like to have a male to love me a certain or your mom not in your life. I don't know what it feel like to have a mom. I just want to feel loved by that. And then because we don't feel those things, we trying to fill the voids. So we going out and doing other things. You know what I'm saying? I think as a parent, and I would say just in general, parents, even the parents before us, because we know what we need to do to change the dynamics of what's going on. And if you don't know what you need to do, like I always say, I think the one thing is getting healing. Yeah, well,
and that's, so I'm sorry not to cut you off again, but that's what I was going to ask, because we talking about the generational and the culture curses, but like, what's something that someone can do to break a generational curse that they may or may not be aware of?
Could I be honest with you? I think relationship with the Lord for me is what gave me that awareness. I didn't know about generational curses. Like you said, I thought it was the norm. Like, I thought everything that we went through growing up and was exposed to was the norm. Seeing people go to jail, seeing, just whatever. Seeing people get killed, fighting, people getting robbed, stealing, all these different things that we was exposed to, fighting, all these different things. I felt like that was the norm. Even growing up in my household, just us not, our dad's not being there. It's like, okay, our mom is here. She's strong. She got us. This is my mom. She got it. You know what I'm saying? And not even realizing, like, that could be a generational curse thing, where the father is stripped away. You having kids out of wedlock. Like, all these different things I didn't know until I grew my spiritual journey with the Lord. I'm not saying that's the only way, but that's the only way that I can speak on. That's the only way I know, like, shoot, because you got to have awareness of it. If you hear generational curses, where you gonna get that from? Like, where you gonna pull from after you hear that? Where you gonna search at?
Yeah,
you
for sure.
Gonna Google it? What is generational curses? Okay, and then what?
Yeah, I think you gotta know like you said, it's the awareness of knowing, okay, now what's been going on in my family's,
and paying attention to
in my family's history that's been happening from years and years. I know me as a black man, dealing with the young men that I come across, and even the young ladies, but in specific the young men, I try to talk to them about, that, and again, the cultural norms that have become okay to society, you know, how we can break them. Because, you know, I remember we had a conversation last year, one of my groups, about again, this is not necessarily generational curses, but this is just, like I said, the cultural curses that I see. What is snitching, you know? And you know, we had a huge conversation, and I'm talking about, it was like 12 boys in the classroom, and I asked them, like, which one of you, I'm just gonna say, I asked them, like, who was snitching here? Who, you know, of course all of them looked tough, all of them was looking like, nah, never me. And you know, I told them, it's funny, because I told them, when I was in y'all's shoes, or when I was y'all's age, if I would have been in this room with 12 young men too, and I would have had some mentors ask me, it would have been the same thing. But now that I'm 31 and I can look back and I see life how I see it now, I personally know probably 6 of the dudes that was in the room with me that didn't already told. But my point is not about the snitching thing, it's about passing and doing. What is snitching? I had to ask them that question. Like, what is snitching? We hear as black men never to be a snitch, but what is snitching? Snitching, like I had talked to them about, if me and you go do something, say I pick you up and I say, let's go do whatever we need to do to make some money.
Rob a bank.
And then I get caught. And then I'm not for that. That right there, if I tell you, that's snitching in my eyes. But if we have to separate as black men, as our young black boys, the difference in snitching and telling. And that's what I had to talk to my boys about, because
what is the difference between snitching and telling?
Snitching, so I told you, snitching and telling. If I pick you up and I say, let's go do something, and I set you up, and then I end up telling on you, and I don't hold my weight and saying, okay, I didn't handle, and like I said, I didn't hold my weight, and then I tell on you.
Do we both agree to do this?
And we both agree to do this.
Okay, so telling is when y'all both agree to do. Yeah. Snitching is when you don't.
No, hold on. Revert back. Go back.
Okay, snitching is when y'all both agree to do it.
Telling, like I say, telling in my eyes is you doing in our society now. If I see something that should not be going on, I should be okay with being able to tell it's for the right or for the wrong reason. You know, we get it caught up in society of knowing it's not no telling, it's not no anything as black men. It's regardless. And you hear it as a little kid. You get in trouble for telling, as don't be no tattletale.
Like saying, I'm trying to get clarification.
Yeah, no,
I'm going.
No, yeah, I'm going. So you hear it as a little kid, as a little. Don't be telling. Don't be a tattletale. Don't tell on your brother for hiding the remote. I don't know, but I'm saying now, as a culture, as a society, we're developing young black men who, regardless on right or wrong situations, they feel as if, or they try to live by a code of saying it's no snitching, when that's not really a real thing nowadays. That's not really a real case. I'm trying to get to a point to where, if I'm telling my young men, if you see something that ain't supposed to be right, then it's okay to do the right thing, rather if that is telling. You know what I'm saying? Now, if I pick you up and me and you go hit a lick, and then we get caught, and I get caught, you get away, and then I tell on you, then that's snitching. Yes, that's snitching. I shouldn't have. I need to be able to hold my own weight.
Okay, so snitching is when we do something together.
Correct.
And we both in agreement of it. Right. And one of us get caught.
Right. So I get caught in specific because I picked you up. I picked you up and said, let's go hit this lick. You was like, sure, let's go do it. You get away. You get away.
I get away.
You get away,
get caught.
and I get caught, and I'll be like, well, you know what? I know the person that was with me is such and such. That's snitching. And I'm not for that. I'm not, you know what I'm saying? I'm not condoning that. Not if we both agreed. I ain't going.
But telling is like, if you see something that's
telling
wrong.
is as if, okay,
what if this is a question. Okay, because we got to get back on track. Yeah. But I do got to ask this. But what if we was, here at a production and you stole the camera, and I told him, like, he stole the camera. Is that snitching?
I shouldn't have stole the camera. If you had nothing to do with it, I should not have stole the camera.
If I didn't know nothing about it.
I should not have stole. That's not nothing. I should not have stole
the camera. And then I told him.
But point. So, okay.
You get what I'm saying?
Okay, Boys in the Hood. Was that Boys in the Hood when such and such asked to get out the car? When my boy asked to get out the car on Boys in the Hood, right?
The dude, the basketball player, the football player.
He asked to get out the car after it's his brother. Or
the light skinned dude.
Yes, he asked to get out the car. Asked to get out the car
because he said he didn't want to do nothing.
Yeah. Now, would he be wrong if he said, "I don't want to do this. I don't want to be a part of this"? Y'all make him be a part of this, and then something happened. He ends up telling. Would he be wrong?
Would he be telling, or would he be snitching though?
That's a good question. But he said, you know what I'm saying?
Because if you said
Yeah. Would he be? He said, "Let me get out this car. Let me get out this car."
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
So then they get caught.
You can't be mad at him for telling. He said, "Let me get out this car."
Man,
and I'm saying, as a society, as black men, as a culture, we need to get away from feeling like end all be all is snitching, because the case is, it's real people out here telling. And then these young men that's 15, 14, 13, 16 are growing up in a society thinking that ain't nobody telling, when that's not the case. Dudes is really out here snitching. You get what I'm saying?
I think.
Yeah, so I'm saying, like,
But no, I get what you're saying. I think, I don't know if I'm like anybody else. I'm like, to me, they're the same.
No, it ain't.
But I got your difference. Your difference is if we in agreement with each other, that's snitching.
Yeah.
If we both agree and then I get, one get away and the other one be like da da da. When you say telling, I'm thinking of it like, like you said, if you see something wrong, you said you ain't want nothing to do with it. You like, bro, this is what happened. But in the streets.
So same example. I'm sorry, we gonna go past it. Same example. I pick you up. I don't tell you that we about to go hit this lick. Mm-hmm. We get caught. You not wrong for telling on me. As black men, if I pick you up in my car, and we go hit a lick, I never tell you what I'm about to go and do.
Now that
even if you get caught in my car, you are considered a snitch if you end up saying, I didn't have nothing to do with that. That gun wasn't mine. That was his. The norm of society of the black man is still going to look at you and say that you are a snitch. Yeah. When I'm trying to get my young boys to realize, like, no, that's not the case.
Because why should I have to not snitch or say that you did it and that is not even what I wanted to do or I had anything to do with. Now my life jeopardized. I might be facing 30 years and
I got a child and
you scot free and you ain't even let me know that's what type of time you was on.
Right. And that's what I'm saying as far as cultural and generational curses. I'm sorry it kind of took a little while to get there. Okay. But that's what I mean by that. So same example, same story. I pick you up. Mm-hmm. You know we about to hit a lick. Okay. You get away. Mm-hmm. I get caught. Okay. If I tell on you or if I snitch and say, okay, but she was with me, I'm snitching. Yes. If I pick the same story, if I pick you up, you don't know we about to go do something. You my boy. I go hit a lick. You had no idea that I was about to do that. I just expected for you to ride for me because you my bro. Mm-hmm. Not even taking consideration your life, your family, that you got a child, your mom, your sister, nobody. You tell on me, I still label you as a snitch. We need to get past that part as a generation.
Because why would you put me in that situation?
Why would you put me in that situation? It's a difference, So now we go into this term of what's a real nigga, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, okay. So that's where you was trying to say, like, that's one of the things that's passed down in the culture.
In the culture and generations, though, because uncles passed that down to cousins and nephews and so forth. Okay. And I, as a black man that teach these young kids, I hate it. I hate it. Yeah. Tell if you ain't have nothing to do with it.
So you want more snitches?
Not more snitches. I want more people to be honest. I want I want more men to be able to differentiate the streets. Yeah. Okay, it's snitching is one thing, and being honest is another thing, and being a man is a firm.
It's in the middle.
It's right in the middle. Okay, if I'm a man, I expect for you to be a man and hold your weight and do whatever that case is. Don't. You know what I'm saying? It's a firm thing in the middle. But let's not trick these young boys into continuing and going down a vicious cycle of the streets when the streets it's a myth, and everybody is making rules to however they feel like whatever rules should abide to them. Okay.
Well, okay. I get it now. Because at first, I'm not going to lie, I was not getting it.
I get it. I get it.
I'm thinking snitching and telling the same thing, but but now when you put it like that, okay, I see, the difference.
And I mean that's the conversation we had, with the young men.
Yeah. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I don't know where we was at before that.
No, I get it. But no. We was talking about the generational and the culture of the curses that get passed down.
Yeah, I mean, okay, I could say, let me see one for, man. Honestly, the main thing for me that I see is just the parents, bro. Mm-hmm. I feel like right now and just in general, with even our age, a lot of our parents haven't took accountability for the things that they passed down to us, period. And because of that, we have a lot of trauma and we have a lot of things that's going on, but also too, their parents never took accountability for the things that they passed down to them. I think a generational curse that I keep telling you, like, just having kids out of wedlock.
Yeah.
And like I said, I'm not trying to put that on like you need to get married, but I'm saying that to say like a lot of generational curses is like a lot of things that come with that curse is like you growing up without a father.
Yeah,
for
sure.
Even if I'm not saying that's it, because you have a kid with somebody, not be married, and y'all can co-parent and y'all can have a kid and that works, right? But I'm saying most of the time that comes with you dealing with somebody who ain't really that type of, like, the right kind of guy, and he go ghost, and now your kid is being raised without a kid, without a father or whatever. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I definitely think that's a generational curse. Yeah. And I feel like the reason why I feel like that is because once we got married, it was like God kind of broke that thing off of what was going on with me. Because like, I ain't gonna lie to you, I love y'all cousins, but I got a lot of cousins, and a lot of cousins that.
But I read a book, and I didn't finish it. I need to finish it. It's Understanding How to Date a Black Woman. It's a real good read. I would suggest that or recommend that for, any of my readers out here.
Tell me about this book.
But it starts off and it talks about generational and cultural curses that I go back when I'm thinking of, because you said something. A lot of times generationally, Black women pass down the myth of to their daughters, or they hear it that niggas ain't nothing. Niggas ain't, and that's a generational cultural curse that's just passed down. So now you got these young girls
Is that a curse or is that a way of thinking?
I think it's the same thing.
The same thing.
I think it's one of the same thing. I think you can, intertwine it however you want to, but even if I'm not directly saying it to, even if a mom is not directly saying it to their daughter, it gives an example of in the book of, again, a daughter being around mom and aunts and mom and friends, and they hear mom and friends talking of niggas ain't nothing, because generationally they've seen niggas not be nothing or men not be nothing. So now they're just continuing to pass it down. So before this little baby gets of age to where she can really make her own decisions of, are men really good? Can men be good? They already believe that niggas ain't nothing. That's just something that's been passed down in our culture, whereas in their generation.
I can attest to that. I was brought up like that. I've seen my mom, go through a lot with men, and I've seen men that I was personally close with and knew do women dirty. So that was a mindset, and when I got with you, that was a shift that I had to make, and I'm still trying to make. I know you good. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know you cool people. You know what I'm saying? You twin. You feel me? But it was definitely something that had to get worked out of me, and I'm still learning. Sure. Even as a woman, when we talk about just aggression, how you talk to a man, and different things of that nature, because I was brought up like you can't trust dudes. You can't trust them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then, don't let you have an independent mom.
Yeah.
Who, like I said, kids' fathers wasn't in their life. You really think that this is the way to be. Yeah,
I mean that's what the book talk about.
And that's why I asked, was it a way of thinking or was it a curse? Because I feel like that's a conditioning in the mind type of thing.
Right.
Based off of experiences. So, can that be passed down generationally? And like you said, that could intertwine. When I just asked that question, that does make sense. It could, because if you already thinking like that, then that's going to be your outcome. Because so as a man thinketh, so is he in his heart,
right.
However God say that, right? What do he say? So
I'm
as a man thinketh,
as a man, yeah.
I'm
following you.
Okay. But so it definitely is a mind conditioning thing, which definitely could be a generational curse, because it's something that's hindering you from experiencing the promises of God or experiencing the greatness that God has for you. Because think of this: when we got together, if I could have continuously thought, like I told you before, God ain't let me see your heart off rip. Why? I'm not sure. I didn't see your heart off rip. I had to work through seeing your heart. You was a great person before we ever even got together. But because I was conditioned in my mind that dudes ain't nothing, I told you from the beginning, when we first got together, even before we got, I didn't even think we was gonna last when we was talking. Remember I told you that? Because guess what? My mind was, ends ain't ish.
Yeah, for
you feel
sure.
me? I ain't think we was gonna last. I ain't even think we was gonna go fourth. I ain't think we was gonna get past. Like, my mindset was like, he gonna mess this up.
Yeah, and I mean that's why. So it's a generational curse or whatever however you want to call it, that's passed down, and then don't let your first experience with a boy be bad. Because now that's all I needed to confirm. So again, that just goes back, and I only brought that up because that just goes back to the awareness part of it, of knowing like, okay, but it's hard to tell a kid to be aware of what they listening to or what they hearing, because that's their norm. If whatever you hear your mom or your dad's or your older sibling, that's just what you want to feel like is end all be all. That's right, or what I'm saying. But it's like once you become of age to where you are able to make decisions and you kind of start getting a sense of your own mindset of knowing like, okay, that was the wrong way of thinking. But I think it's important for these type of discussions and us as mentors and positive role models to pass that down to our young males. Like I said about the difference in the snitching and telling, and you telling the young ladies like, nah, that ain't the case. It is good young boys out here for us to pass that on before it gets to a point to where they become of age to where now you didn't already, because you was tainted at an early age, you didn't went ahead and you didn't dealt with a dude that really ain't nothing. You never gave yourself a chance because what you believe to be true. And I feel like a lot of young ladies believe that to be true, that niggas ain't, and it is some dirty dudes out here, as it is some dirty cheap females. But if in your mind you believe niggas ain't nothing all your life, 10 times out of 10 you gonna probably deal with ain't nothing niggas. And then when you have a kid by this ain't nothing nigga, you gonna pass it down to that kid that niggas ain't nothing, and now it's a generational curse, a line of the same thing of, because of what you have been taught and what you believed in, that you never gave yourself a real chance. So it's just the awareness part of it.
And that goes back to what you said, like you would want to teach y'all that two family households exist. Because everything that you just said is 100% true. And if somebody say it's not, maybe that's just not their experience, but I know for a fact I've experienced it in a couple of people that I know, just the way of thinking, to the point where when you do get a healthy relationship,
you be the toxic one.
You toxic.
Oh,
hold on, wait, hold on.
No. Not you.
What you trying to?
Nah, that wasn't personal. That was funny. No, but no, that's the truth. Nah, for real, because females because I'm speaking from the males. I gotta hold it down for the homies, real quick.
You just called me toxic on TV.
On
episode
YouTube.
On YouTube.
No, I'm saying.
What?
I'm saying because that's the truth. Women. It's unfortunate that our black women are, in our culture, the norm is to pass that on. So like you say, you end up with a good dude, and instead of accepting that, you bring on toxic traits, or let me take that back. Males, we are. All females ain't.
Throw y'all under the bus.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it, because I owe you one. All females ain't, they thoughts, all females is thoughts. So then you deal with thought females because that's what you've exposed yourself to. So then when you get with a good girl, you don't want to trust her because of what you have done to other girls or the dealings that you've had with other girls, of when you've dealt with girls that's been in relationships that have been okay with cheating on their male or their companion with you. So now in your back of your mind, you're just like, oh shoot, she's a thought, because you know what I'm saying? It's a real thing.
For real. No, that's real, because you hear males talk like that, you hear females talk like that. The matter of it is it's been passed down.
Right.
And it's through whether and the crazy part about it isn't even sometimes your experience, it's other people's experience that came before you, right? And like you said, you have that, then you end up in having the experience, and
that's
then
all you needed to confirm.
That's all you needed to confirm. So like you said, stuff can just get passed down. And let's talk about this, because we say generational curses, but what about curse words? Not cuss words, not profanity.
Yeah, I believe in
profanity.
That.
I said profanity.
And now that even having a child, now, granted, speaking stuff over people's life, and you can speak stuff over people's life, and you don't even mean to do that.
Yeah,
you have no ill intent on doing it, but in specific, speaking over, let's say a kid, I'm not gonna say I don't believe in, but of age of already calling a little boy bad 24/7.
Oh my God.
Subconsciously, that's all this little boy is gonna hear. So he begins to mimic bad behavior because you're speaking these curse words over.
He's bad.
He thinks you're speaking these curse words over this young man's life. So now everything that he's do, you're giving him recognition for the bad times that he's doing. And once it becomes of age to where now these bad behaviors are really becoming a bad behavior, and it's affecting not only himself but possibly other people, it may or may not be too late. And
he might be thinking, well, I'm bad.
Like, that's all I've been told. Or for a young lady, you not pretty, you not cute, or you are ugly, or you fat. As a young, and we're going up in a society now to where it's unfortunate that if you don't speak life into your daughter, your little niece, your little goddaughter, and tell her that she's pretty. Now she's getting on Instagram and she's seeing some model that then got all these plastic surgeries and BBLs get all these likes, but it's like, and they're looking at this person and see it as if they're beautiful because they lack the confidence because they was all not given positive affirmations, and they was only, let's not even say they was called ugly, but they was never given positive affirmations. So they looking at it and for somewhere else.
So words do matter.
Yeah, for sure. Words do matter to our young kids.
And I say that to say that not only could it be generational curses, but it could be curse words that are spoken over your life.
For sure.
Whether that be somebody saying something to you repetitive.
You not smart. You dumb.
That's negative.
Yeah, you not smart. Why you keep getting bad grades? Or anything, and you start seeing the lack of belief in these kids, or the belief that these curse words is true.
Yeah, because I had a young lady who said her mom always was trying to label her. Just like, I told you got ADHD, like not even ADHD, but like just trying to make her, it was ADHD, and it was like one where I guess like she just wasn't like, didn't feel like she was like smart like that. And she was saying that her mama kept saying that because she was telling her mom like, I don't understand the work. But I'm like, just because you don't understand that doesn't mean that you're slow. That don't mean that you're not smart. That just mean that you don't understand that. It's so many things that people just don't understand. Because you don't understand that doesn't mean that you're slow. So her mom had her thinking like that. You get what I'm saying? And it's like, just trying to walk her out of that was kind of, like just a little hard. Because it's like, this is something that's been told to her for so long. And it's been something that somebody spoke over her for so long that she don't even know how to decipher, like, that was a lie.
Yeah, but the crazy thing is that's where we need to go back and be like, okay, why does this person feel like it's okay to consistently speak these negative curse words over this person's life? What have they been told? Again, generational cultural curses. What are they passing down that was probably told to them to where now all they know is to repeat the same negative behaviors onto their child or to their goddaughter or their godson or their niece, their nephews? Yeah,
no, that's deep. But that's why I keep saying, I think one of the main solutions to even just these generational curses is making sure that you get the proper healing. You're not gonna be healed by overnight, but I'm telling you this, baby, because telling you this, Q, because if you don't get healing, you 9 times out of 10 you're gonna pass that on, right? And it could be the littlest things like insecurities. You know what I'm saying? Like I found myself the other day. It was crazy. It's the funniest thing because I just talked to my mentor about this yesterday because I thought I was tripping. It was like an insecurity thing. And it was with Yara. And it was like, and I even told you this is on the record. It's funny. I just told my mentor this yesterday because it was the first time. I was like, I wanted to know if it was, what that was about. But it put into perspective of how my mom might have felt with me. But I'm only saying this to say, this is why you got to get healing. Seeing Yara be loved on by your mom and your sister, I'm like, is she gonna know I'm her mom? Like, like, I love it. But I'm like, is she gonna know I'm her mom? Like, like, feeling like a little like
insecure
about my spot.
Yeah, if somebody else is giving her love.
Yeah, is it
going to take away from the love that I'm giving her?
And I caught myself having that moment, and then I said, "Girl, you is her mama. Like, can't nobody take your spot. Like, regardless, you birthed her. Like, God chose you to bring her into. Why are you having that feeling? Where is this coming from?" Instantly, I had to know that's the enemy. But I felt that way. And it put it to perspective, just like how my mom could possibly feel that way with me. Like, who feel like somebody taking her daughter away from her? Ooh, is this person going to get the love that But that's why I say you need to make sure you get healing. Yeah. Because say if I wasn't aware of that, say if in that moment I didn't, didn't have the truth, like the truth wasn't in me, like, I didn't have a relationship with the Lord and wasn't aware of that moment, I could have been really trying to still raise her with that thought process.
For sure.
And trying to control what she got going on as she get older, like not wanting her to be around her aunt and her grandma, like not want, that ain't me. And that ain't how God, created it to be, but that's how parents are. Like some parents are, or what we was brought into. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm insecure about our relationship as a parent. You know what I'm saying? Like I literally had that thought. I didn't even tell you that.
But I mean, that goes, so it's a situation that's kind of that kind of comes to mind when you talk about that, the insecurities as parents. Because I had a mentee of mine, and we was having a discussion, and I feel like that was the example that I gave to my mentee as far as the actions of their parent on how they was acting, because my mentee, they're seems to be doing a great job, but the mentee says that the parent likes to always blame, point the blame game, or of why the parent isn't
in their life
active like they should be. And I feel like I told them that's the parents' insecurities. You're doing all you supposed to do right. Don't ever, that's. But it goes back to the healing. How can this parent get healing if they don't even know that that's
the issue?
That is an issue. Again, and that's why I say, I know, like you said, healing. I wonder what's the step before then. Is it these conversations? Is it to sit down?
Awareness.
Is it to bring the awareness?
Because if you never know, how you gonna fix it?
Right.
And I prayed that, and I could pray this for all the upcoming parents and different things that we are parents of just being open, like we just set a different tone, what I'm saying, like that we literally are open to hearing, and
being held accountable.
I can't sit up here and say to a parent, I don't know, like I need you to hear me out, and you don't want to you don't want to hear me out. That ain't gonna work. I need you to be able to hear me out, and then if you don't like what I said, okay, you don't like what I said, but let's work through that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But we don't have that. So I feel like because we don't have that, we have to be that.
Right.
Which means as we raise Yara, if she say, "Ma, I feel like you being a little bit insecure," I mean, depending on how she say it, she could say it, as long as it ain't disrespectful. If we having a dialogue, I gotta be open to hear what she's saying. I can't just shut her out. Because now, the awareness that she's trying to bring to me, I ain't even trying to hear it.
Yeah, for sure.
You get what I'm saying? So I think it's more so, like you said, awareness, a conversation type of thing, like being open.
And I think, that would be dope. And again, kind of like what we discussed in one of our last episodes as far as like what's the mission of neighborhood politics. I always envision being able to bring and sit with 100 black men, and let's talk about how we can be better black men. How can we be better black fathers? How can we be better black role models? How can we be better black mentors? Because again, if we don't have these conversations, the same toxic traits is going to continue to get passed along. And I'm with it. Like I wanted to get so strong to where it's like once we get this 100 black men, bro, if you ain't with it, we armied against you low key, and we sanctioning you off because we can't afford to keep on losing our black boys to some insecurities or some nonsense that we can change. We can change. Again, back to bring up bro, it needs to be politics and guidelines to it. Now we not about to just tell all black men and all black boys it's a no snitching guy. That ain't the case. We need to end that. We need to stop telling all black young boys quit being emotional. It's okay to be emotional. You know what I'm saying? These toxic traits that continue to get passed along, that's building up these super masculine, toxic young black boys at 13, 14, 15. And now they going on full-fledged, going hard at life and not even knowing that half the dudes that's passing on these false narratives, bro, they names been not good in the streets. They been and did some food stuff or then told or or they boy then passed away and they ain't helped out with the moms. You know what I'm saying? They did some food stuff, but they got you trying to live by some guidelines that they done been passed down from culture and they in generations. That ain't a real thing, you know. So, you know, that's my vision of being able to bring that 100 black men together, and we have these guidelines and these discussions to where we can really become better people.
So one of the ways that you would say, well, I love that. First of all, let me acknowledge that. I love that. I think that is awesome. If you can really get that together, and not if, because you can do it, right?
Yeah, for sure.
But when you get that together, I think I'm gonna encourage you to get it together. Everybody around you, you already got good people around you. You know what I'm saying? All you need to do is keep adding on and adding on. It's a lot of people out here that want to be better.
For sure,
you know what I'm saying? I think we focus more on the people who don't want to, but there's a lot of people out here that want to be better. So if you can get that going on around you, that'd be a game changer.
For sure. Like, and I mean, I can say the same thing for you as a black woman, because, you know, neighborhood politics, we in this together. So, you know, I get my 100 black men, you get your 100 black women, you push that it is good black men, that, you know, you push that it is okay to be beautiful in your own skin, that you push that it is okay that you don't need to get BBLs, and that you don't need, and I'm not coming for anybody that got the BBLs or the breast jobs or whatever. I'm not coming from. I'm just saying loving yourself the way you are is okay. It's it's a thing, you know. And I feel like our young ladies, if we can get that going, and then as black men, if we can get our side of things going, then sure, we might be able to build a little community to where it's like, dang, we got something going for ourselves. We living right amongst each other. We ain't got no shady activity going. This young man is learning how to be a good young man for this young lady. This young lady is learning how to be a good young lady for this young man. We ain't coming in here with gender roles. We ain't coming in here with expectations. We just coming in here as good black people. Good. Let me revert that back, because again, like we said in the last episode, it's not only about black America, you know. But in this case, we are speaking on our culture, you know. But neighborhood politics, we welcoming arms for everybody. You know what I'm saying? That's for all of us. You know, we like we said, this is for the community. But we all come together and we become better people as a whole.
Nah, for sure. And I definitely, you know, like you said, we just speaking on what's going on in our community. It's never to X anybody out or anything of that nature. It's just to bring awareness to what's going on, because obviously we sometimes, as like they say, we suffer because of the lack of knowledge or just even a lack of awareness. You know what I'm saying? And I think, you know, because we just became parents, it's so important and so vital to even, you know, just learn about these things or be open and even just be able to educate, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, even on a spiritual standpoint, I know from now me becoming a parent, it's like I'm now switching into a different role. I'm a parent on, you know, surface level, but now I'm really a child right now when it comes to things, because I'm learning all over again what it's like to be a child and to understand my child. So I'm God's child. What I mean by that is like I'm learning how to like humble myself and learn from my daughter, but also learn from God. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? Sure. Like, I truly can say, like, as a parent, the only way to, you know, break these curses and get them is humbling yourself, being open and willing to have those tough conversations, because at the end of the day, don't no parent or anybody want to hear like, I'm this way because you made me this way. You know what I'm saying? Even in a relationship, you don't want to hear like, shoot, I'm like this because of you. Like, for sure. You said this, you said that, this beat me down, this made me feel that way. Now this is why I'm like that. Don't nobody want that. Nobody want to hear that. That's why I say those tough conversations, because if you're willing to have them, then we could change. We could change, you know, a situation or two. You know, just in general. You know, like I think with parenthood right now, you know, it's something that you got to be willing to work towards, for real. Yeah,
I will say though that I had, like we say, we talk a lot about the negatives and the cons. I do feel like we are in a good, because I got some good friends, bro, and they doing a hell of a job at raising their kids, you know, and you know, so I want to, you know, I know we've been talking about how we can help break the generational curses and the cultural curses and things. But I would love to say I do feel like it is we are at a place now to where, like you say, we should acknowledge the good that is out there, though, because like I said, I got some friends that's doing an amazing job at being girl dads and boy dads. So that makes me happy to know that we are at a state to where change is capable, of happening.
I mean, I definitely would like to agree. I've seen some great stand-up people around you, especially when it comes to like raising their children. You know what I'm saying? And like we always talk about, like they aware. I hear you having conversations with your friends about just bringing awareness to this, what they might experience. Like, dang, I seen when I did this, because like we said before, there's no rule book to this. Like literally no guide, but we literally learn as we go. You know what I'm saying? So how can you fault somebody that's learning as they go?
For sure. And I want to say, because again, I think it's important to know that it's never too late to be or turn around your actions as maybe a parent. To be a better. Yeah. Because again, to revert back to the conversation that I was saying I was having with my mentee, that conversation is had, and a lot of times from what I'm hearing, it comes off as if mentees parent feels as if it's too late. It's too late.
Like, you don't need me.
Yeah, it's too late. You didn't already you're grown now pretty much. And it's like, nah, that's never the case. And like I say, especially with boys and girls, because, again, boys, we can go through a stage to where it's like, okay, I'm cool. I don't need you as a father. I don't need you as not necessarily a mom. I feel like it's funny because boys, we yearn for that love for our moms. But we can go through a stage to where once we feel like we ain't got a father, we can become okay with that. Like, man, I don't, need it. It's cool. I don't, need you. So even if you was to tell me, yeah, it's too late for me to be a father, I don't need you anyway. I got the homies.
I think
girls in the case, I'm sorry, but girls, females, that's you yearn for that love from a father, even as a adult,
just
woman.
Like you said, as a woman,
as adult,
as you would want for your mom,
right? So it's like I think again, I'm gonna hold my guys, my male companions accountable when we get this 100-man group. Like, bro, nah, if you ain't holding it down as a
you cool, I'm cool.
Yeah, well, I'm cool on you. You know what I'm saying?
We don't need you around.
We kicking you out.
But that is like where it literally, for me, like it takes like real stand-up dudes,
right?
Because everybody don't be like that. Like everybody want to act like they real dudes, or like they real. Even females, you ain't real until you ready to correct somebody in love. Yeah. And that's literally simply like, hey, I'm not trying to kick with you. You don't take care of your kids. Yeah. As a woman too, it's girls out here who drop their kids off and keep it pushing out. They ain't worried about their kid. Girl, you ain't coming over here. I don't want to kick it with you. You ain't take care of responsibility until you do that. I'm not trying to kick it with you.
Yeah, for sure.
That's holding somebody accountable, and that's being stand up. So when you say that, like nothing is wrong with that. That's what we need to learn. Instead of talking about the snitching and telling, we need to learn how to be more stand up and honest and upfront and correcting each other in love. That's something that could be passed down. It was something I was gonna say though, but you kept going, so I forgot.
My bad. And because again, I think we talked about taking people for what they like. If you're showing me that pretty much as a friend that you ain't gonna take care of as your kids, then I can only imagine in all actuality that we might be cool, we might be able to kick it, drink a bottle with each other, but bro, you the type of nigga that's gonna snitch on me. Like, you the same dude, and I hate to keep going back to this snitching thing, but if you ain't even willing to take care of your kids, I know for a fact you will snitch on me. Okay. If we both agreed to go and hit this lick.
I was about to listen. I was about to bring up like,
if he's you ain't even taking care of your kids.
Are you willing to tell on him?
You don't even care about your kids. So I know you don't care about being caught a snitch. Yeah. You ain't even you know what I'm saying? So bruh, I don't know. I'm telling you, I'm fired up, man, because these boys, man, I got a group of them. And they all live by that. They die by that right now. And they really full-fledged going hard in the streets. And it really concerns me because we losing them. You know what I'm saying? So my passion and you know, my heart really yearns because I really try to get these boys to understand, bro. The streets is a myth. You know, these generational curses that's just being passed down to y'all are myths. These cultural curses that's being passed down to y'all is myths. But it ain't a lot of people telling them that. You know what I'm saying? So who am I, Mr. Q? You know, when just for my little slight few hours, because when you go home, you exposed to a whole nother environment.
As soon as you leave school.
Yeah, you exposed to a whole nother environment. So it's like you gonna do what, you know, you gotta do again for self-preservation or to feel comfortable or cool in your environment. But how do we get to the point to where even when you leave from with Mr. Q, it's some role model over there telling you the same thing? You get what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying. Having all those people around, like that type of environment, having that type of if you know, like you saying, you leave here, you might go to the corner store, and that corner store clerk he could be influential too,
right?
Telling you the right thing, or you got those store clerks that's like, hey, as long as you throw me a little extra bucks, I'll let you rob dude in the back. You get what I'm saying? So it's like you said, just having those type of people, you know. But that's in a. I do believe it's obtainable. I do believe that it can happen. But that's one of those things where it's like, man, we got to work hard to get there.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, really, really work hard to get there. Because, you know, like when we talk about neighborhood politics, we just doing what God has given us on our heart to do. And that we got a heart and love for the community. You know what I'm saying? Because we've been around it. Like, I know for me, just an environment. Like, I ain't even talk about my experience. Just environment matters.
Yeah,
environment matters because it literally shows you, or not even show you, but it literally can either make or break your future.
Yeah,
whether you feel like you can go far or whether you feel like I'm stuck and this is all I know and this is just what it is. You get what I'm saying? Because environment can change a lot.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? Your environment can tell you one thing, but I do want to say this. No matter, and this is for anybody, no matter what your environment is, you have the ability to make and break whatever it is that you want to do in life. You could be surrounded by whatever you're surrounded by, but you got to know and have a plan for yourself and believe in yourself. And you, even if your environment sucks, you got to be like, this ain't going to be that. This ain't going to be for long. You know what I'm saying? And really believe that. You got to know that because everything around you will tell you the opposite. But you got to know, this ain't it. This ain't that. This ain't all. Like, yeah, I might be surrounded by this, but this is not gonna be my life, and you gotta stick to that. Because at the end of the day, when you get out of that environment, you're gonna be like, I'm grateful and I'm thankful that I believed in myself enough to know I don't have to live like this. I don't have to be like this, and that's another generational curse.
Yeah, I don't have to abide by them generational curses.
Yeah, I don't have to be living like this. This ain't gotta be my situation. I ain't gotta be, living like this. My lights ain't gotta be off. I ain't gotta hand wash all my clothes. Just I'm just saying anything. You know what I'm saying? Like when you learn that about you and you really have faith and believing it in yourself, you really can get out of it. You know what I'm saying? And I just want you to know, like, even if your environment is pure sucky right now, just know that it's not the end all be all. You still got the power and the ability to change your future and what it is that you want to do, and even to change your environment, because all it takes is for you to change. And guess what? Once you change, other people will see your life and be inspired and encouraged by the way that you live in your life, and seeing how the dedication and motivation that you had to get out of your environment, they will see that and then want to get better as well. That's a testament, even just for my life. Like, it's just like, dang, man, I'm so proud of you, because I remember you. I remember where you was at. I remember how you used to be, or I remember, and you just like me. You used to kick it, and you really went to college. You really, you really married now. Like, you really doing what you really doing. You really doing great things, and people see that and they inspired by it. Yeah. So don't ever feel like your environment is something that is end all be all, because you still have the power and ability to make and break whatever it is that you want for your life. And I just wanted to say that.
That was hard. You should have preached that. I like that. You turned up. That was beautiful. But real talk. But
because it's real.
No, for real. And I think the importance of that is also knowing and being aware again of your society of it's going to be haters, you know, and being able to be strong enough to persevere through that, because it's unfortunate, again, in our culture, for the ones who are like that, or who may have that strength of knowing that I'm going to be able to push through this, that is unfortunate. It do be, you have them people that come into your life to try to shed that light and try to pull you down. It is the crab in the barrel syndrome is a real thing.
Crab in the bucket. What's the same?
The crab in the barrel syndrome is a real thing. And again, I challenge the culture. I challenge the people to where it's like, man, if you see somebody doing well, if we from the same neighborhood and it's a treacherous environment, but you see that this person like studying every day, coming home and don't want to be outside on the block, he's still a cool dude.
Yeah.
What happens is, as black men, we see this little dude, and we, instead of us trying to respect and honor that and help push him and help motivate him, we try to now, it seems as if our culture has got to a point now to where we try to still pull this person over here with us. Like, nah, bro, you ain't cool. That ain't the cool thing to do. You need to get out here on the block with us. You need to, what I'm saying?
Or even downplaying it like you lame or you soft. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, nah, that ain't it, because I could speak to that too. You know what I'm saying?
But that's what I'm saying. Being strong in what you just preached and what you just said, and know who you truly are, and that it's okay that I'm temporarily in this environment, but I don't have to be accepting of this. Yeah. And it's also revert to the other side of things. Don't try to, let's, as a society, stop trying to push something on to people if that ain't really what the case is. The community, if that's not really what this person wants to be. You know, we trying to pull and pull and pull. Let's get to a point to where we all are trying to push and become better people together.
And this is what I'll say, even pertaining to that, because I can speak to this as well. Just because you want to change your environment, that does not mean that you think that you better. You just see something different for your life. And don't ever let nobody make you feel bad about wanting better for your life, because that's what you want. And that is okay, because the same better that I want for my life is the same better that you can have for your life. So just because I'm where I am today, that doesn't mean that I think that I'm better. That just means that I just see more for myself. And I still love you. And I still got, I still look at you with the same way that I would look at you if I was there. I just wanted a different life. Don't ever let nobody make you feel bad for wanting better for your life, because people will try to make you feel like that. And that's the enemy trying to pull you back and pull you into deception and make you go 10 steps backwards. Don't ever feel bad for wanting better in life. That's the point of it, to grow. Life is about growth. It's about getting better. It's about learning new things. It's about breaking limitations. It's about changing whatever it is that you want to change, being able to put your mind to anything that you want to put your mind to, living in your purpose. That is what life is about. So if anybody trying to make you feel like that ain't it, they ain't it. And them the type of people that you do not need to be surrounded by, because there are people like that in your environment. And then it's going to be people like you said, Q. Not everybody going to be supportive of what you trying to do, but then you're going to see some people who going to be like, they going to respect what you trying to do because they know. You know what I'm saying? They know, man. Like, he's right. And the reason they not doing what they doing because they didn't believe in themselves the way that you believed in themselves. So you got to know, like, literally, just because you want better, that don't mean that you think you better. That just literally means that I just want a better life for myself so I could be set up and live a totally different life. I want a life of freedom. I want a life of peace. I don't want a life of bondage and poverty and, being scared for my life every time I walk out the door, or, seeing how, I'm living in these certain conditions and I got to live like this. Nah, that ain't got to be you. And I'm telling you now, like, it's okay to be different. It's okay to want better, and it's okay to do more, because that's how you're going to get ahead of life. And it's not bringing nobody else down. It's believing in yourself, not bringing nobody else down, but believing in yourself. Just believing in yourself, for real. Because I just really feel it on my heart that, like, our environment and all these generational curses and those things that, like, you got to understand, it's so much that's against us, not blacks. I'm talking about us, people. Let's just say if you in that type of environment. I ain't knocking nobody for who was raised in a 2-parent house, or who was, man, I'm so happy for you, because that's a blessing to be able to be raised in a 2-parent house and to be loved a certain type of way. But for the people who wasn't, It's hard. It's hard. You know, it's hard when you got this whole environment that's telling you the opposite of what you want and what you believe for yourself. It's so hard. And that's who I'm speaking to, because that's how it was for me to be in an environment and be like, dang, how I'm supposed to get up out of this? I ain't trying to be nobody's baby mama. And I'm not talking about people who are baby mamas. I got friends, I got cousins, I got family. I love y'all. I'm not talking about that. And that's what I'm just saying. For instance, how you want better for yourself. I ain't trying to be just nobody baby mama. I ain't trying to just be dealing with dope boys all my life. You know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to just be working on 9 to 5. I ain't trying to just, not saying anything is wrong with those things. That's just what I wanted for my life. And I'm saying this to say for anybody who is on the same page. It's just what you want for your life. That's all I'm saying. You want better.
I think it's just important also with that, you know, because that's a real thing in our code. You know, it's always people that find the ones who support that and pull them with you, and even if it's one person,
make your own community.
Make your own community and be appreciative of that, because it's unfortunate we get to a point to where, you know, we might have 2 or 3 people in our corner, and even though that sounds like it ain't a lot, we might focus more so on the 14, 15, 16, 12 that we don't support and that we want to bring along though with us. You know, so it's like, you know, people gonna come when they ready to come. You know, you can't always bring everybody with you. And as a culture, don't make somebody feel bad if they didn't bring you along. Maybe you was toxic. Maybe you wasn't ready for whatever they had going on for them. But don't dwell on that. You know, don't feel like, dang, I can't bring John with me, man. John ain't really support me. Well, what about JJ that really is? You know what I'm saying? Like, be living in the moment of knowing who really is there and currently happy for you, and be okay with that. You know, and the ones who are going to be there will be there, and the ones who aren't, they'll find a way to either weed themselves out, or they'll come along when that time permits itself. You know, but like you say, point is don't fall victim of feeling like you aren't to complete your mission because other people that you would like to be completing your mission with you aren't tagging along. You know what I'm saying?
And even people who that you ain't even tripping about not completing the mission with you, just people who won't see the vision that you see, or, you know, want to be, you know, used to those certain environments. Like, this stuff is real. Generational curses is real. You know, the way we was brought up was real, whether it was good or bad. No matter the experience or the situation, the stuff is real, and you got to be able to acknowledge it and, you know, grow from it. And even, like I said, we just here to bring awareness to it. You know, and, you know, here in Neighborhood Politics, we go with that slogan, that saying that we all we got. And who would we be if we wouldn't sit in front of y'all and let y'all know or talk to y'all about just these things? You know what I'm saying? Like, let's bring awareness to generational curses. Like, you don't know what it is, Google it. It's something that's passed down from generation to generation that can be a hindrance to you and your life and your future generations coming forth after you. That's what a generational curse is a hindrance to your life and generations coming after you that has been passed on from people that was before you. And you can, this is another encouragement, you can stop generational curses right now in your life. You got to make a sound decision, and you got to really, really work towards that. You got to really be serious about it, man. And you got to know what it is that you want. But you got to also be aware of what the generational curse is. I ain't going to just sit up here and be like, you got to just pray and be like, break all generational curses. Nah, you got to be aware of what those generational curses is, and do the opposite, and pray that God give you the grace and favor, the mercy, and everything that you need to carry it out. Because we can all be generational curse breakers. You know what I'm saying? It ain't just a one person thing. Is something that we all can partake in and partake on, and I truly believe that in my heart. So, you know, this stuff is real, man. Like, generational curses is a real thing.
Generational and cultural, you know.
Cultural, like you said, we talking about, you know, we went back and forth from generational to culture. And like the last thing that we did talk about was curse words as well. Being mindful of what people speak over your life and what you speak over other people's life. Those things matter. Words matter. When this earth was formed, it was spoken with a word. So that tells you how much power is in words. You'll maybe never forget what somebody did to you, but sometimes you'll never forget what somebody said, and vice versa. You might forget what somebody said, but you never forget how they made you feel. The point of it is words matter. So be careful of even the curse words. And if somebody's speaking negativity in your life, rebuke it, and you cast that down. You don't believe it. We don't believe in lies. And I say that because when somebody speak a word over you, which is a curse word, that can turn into like a generational curse thing.
Yeah.
Because what somebody say to you, you could pass that down, and then whoever you pass that down to, they can pass that down, and then whatever, and all that is the same. So yeah, we definitely, you know, wanted to just for sure bring awareness to generational curses, because like I say, the neighborhood politics saying and slogan, like we got. So we got to be informative to y'all. Y'all got to be able to and want to receive it, and we got to work together to get our community better. That's just my whole take on it.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm glad we had this conversation. You know, I think it was important, and it is so much that else that couldn't be said.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's so many other points and perspectives of it. But you know, again, my biggest thing is awareness. So you know, being able to have this platform to where we can talk about it, and then again have maybe hopefully some engagement to where people can, you know, comment, hit us up, DM, whatever that may be, want to come on to talk about what maybe was their generational curse that got passed down to them, or a cultural curse that they feel like was passed down in their community, you know, because again, it's a community thing, and come along, because we are all for the growth, and everybody's experience is different. You know, what may have been passed down to me is possibly different to you. What may have been passed down from such and such could be, you know, different. So, you know, I think the engagement part of it is important, because like we say, I feel like the first step is just the awareness of having these. If you aren't even aware, you can't heal from something that you aren't even aware of, and you're not aware of, we're not even having these conversations. You know what I'm saying? So like if I think that's important. So like I said, I'm glad we was able to have this discussion.
And like I said, if you want to know what's something that's a generational curse that been passed down from family to family, pay attention to. That's been passed down in your generations from you and your family. Pay attention to the things that you see that's going on in your family. Just pay attention to the things that you see, whether that be addiction, you know what I'm saying? Whether that be whatever you see. Pay attention to it, and then you'll start to be able to see, oh, this is a generational curse. You know what I'm saying? Like you'll be able to see that. You got to pay attention and see what's going on. And alcoholism. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, it's everything. You know, addiction, the streets, hoeing for females is a real thing. You know, tricking, pimping. Alcohol, you know, alcoholism. You know, again,
like I said, addiction.
lack of fathers in the, you know, it's everything. You know, some stuff is system, man. We can go so deep into it, but again, like you say, just pay attention to the norms of your family tree. Pay attention to the norms of our culture, of your community, of your neighborhood might be different from the neighborhood out south. You know what I'm saying? They may do things different, but pay attention to what's going on around you, and then you'll start seeing, okay, yeah, that seems a little repetitive. What's the movie Cloning Tyrone? You know, that seems a little repetitive. You know, but at the end all be all, like I say, you know, as a culture itself, you know, I would just love to get to the point to where we can just start doing right. You know, we can have these conversations. We can break cultural, generational, whatever you want to call them, curses, and we can just start doing better by each other.
I will say this. Well, first, I'm going to say this because we're about to wrap it up. Be a generational curse breaker. Once again, be a generational curse breaker. It ends with you. It stops with you. Literally with you. Not nobody else, with you. You gonna stop it because that's what you chose to. That's what you want to do. That's what you want for generations that's coming from you. You want it to be done with you. Done. What I do want. Another thing I want to say is, I'm happy that we some generational curse breakers, bro. Like literally, we done broke a lot of generational curses.
For sure.
And I'm grateful that I'm able to be able to do that with you, and for us to see it for each other. Some things that we done broke some generational curses. So a lot of things ended with us. Y'all don't even have to experience it. Ain't that awesome?
Yeah, for sure.
She don't even got to experience half of the stuff that we didn't experience.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
Those spirits and those different things and all those different words, and she ain't even got to experience that because it stopped with us. Ain't that crazy? And generations today is going to come from us. Just imagine how many generations going to come from us.
Yeah, that's the blessing. That's the blessing behind it.
So yeah, I don't know. I just got excited about that, man, because literally.
That's the blessing that's behind it, and that's the blessing that's going to come for all the people that this is going to touch. You know what I'm saying? Because the conversations, it starts with the conversations, and the change happens after that. So yes, for sure, it's a blessing to be in position right here with you. You know, to, like you say, break them some generational curses, and you know, another, because we finished with it, but just because I think it's important, like I was talking, it was funny talking to Juan about this. We were talking about generational curses. Just because you can't fix the whole family dynamics, don't mean you can't fix one. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's important. I might not be able to fix the whole dynamics of my messed up family tree. You know, it might be hoeing that goes on. It might be alcoholism. It might be a weed addiction. It might be pimping. It might be whatever but maybe I can fix the alcoholism part of it. Maybe I done seen my mom and my dad drink, my uncles and grandpas. I can't fix the hoeing. I ain't a male. Maybe I can't fix the, whatever else, but I can maybe fix this and knocks that down one. So now maybe I can have a child, and maybe I'm not taking on the alcoholism. Then I can have a daughter. Maybe that daughter, I done passed. Now she ain't doing the hoeing because I done brought this down. And now maybe she done had a son. Now he ain't doing the tricking or the pimping. You know what I'm saying? So don't worry about all 5, 6, 7, because it's deep. We come from slavery and all types of trauma for real. Yeah. So we coming with baggage. We coming with generations of trauma. Yeah. Let's not worry about all 10 suitcases filled with stuff. Let me just knock out one suitcase and be okay with that. Somebody else, that'll just be a domino effect. Don't think that I gotta knock out all 10, because I know some supermen and superwomen out here that might feel the need to. Yeah. But if you knock out one suitcase, boom, that's all I needed. Because you might, like you said, inspire cousin JoJo to knock out the other suitcase. And then cousin JoJo might inspire cousin Chanel and cousin Darnell to knock out 2 more suitcases, and now we rolling. You know what I'm saying?
And just knowing that it's not your full responsibility. Just period. It's not your full responsibility. And if once you break one, you broke it, baby. You blessed, and just know it ends with you. And new beginnings happen with generations after you, and just be okay with that. It's a blessing, and I'm grateful, like I said, that we are generational curse breakers. And I hope that this brings some sort of awareness. And once again, like you said, we always willing to have conversation and dialogue, meaning always we chat up in that we chat in the comments, but I got a comment so we can chat. Let's have a conversation. And this is just us speaking from our personal experiences, or just in general from what we saw. Neighborhood politics, all we want to do is be able to give back the honor and the glory to the Most High, but most importantly, be able to give back free game and help our community and uplift. Like they say it gets lonely at the top, but it don't even have to get like that. If we could help pull each other up and just do the best we can to keep each other aware and encouraged, and and just motivated. So thank y'all for tapping into neighborhood politics. Today was just another amazing episode with me and Q. Definitely, we still got guests coming on. We also, once again, still have some things that we trying to implement. We just gonna need y'all support. So we just, we getting the moving pieces moving and different things like that. And it's only up from here. So make sure that you like, comment, subscribe, and share. Leave comments and just let's talk. Let's get it popping. Like we say, if it's something that you got on your heart that you want to discuss, it's something that you want us to make aware or whatever, make sure that you inbox. Make sure that you leave a comment. Like, don't ever be afraid. Like, we here for y'all. So once again, we all we got. And yeah.
And if that nigga ain't tell you that he was about to hit that lick and he ain't willing to hold his own weight.
Was this the camera?
Tell on that nigga.
Oh, we got to look at this one.
Tell on that nigga.
Oh, I'm going to make sure I clip this out.
Nah, and
this going to be literally, like, this is right here going to be the, you hear what?
If that nigga ain't tell you he was about to hit that lick and he ain't willing to take his own weight, tell on that nigga. Throw him in the birds. It's over with. Cut.
And this is not snitching, correct?
Tell on that nigga. I already told you she ain't going to stop me. See, this is what I'm talking about. Tell on him. I told you.
I'm just saying. This is going to be a clip.
Tell on him.
Okay, so it's not snitching though.
Once again, if that nigga picked you up and he went and hit that lick and he ain't tell you he was about to, you got a daughter at home, he ain't tell you, and then he ain't holding his own weight and you the one that got jammed up, tell on that nigga. Yeah, end all be all.
Tell on that guy.
Tell on that nigga. We out. Peace.
All right.